Okay, this is attempt number 300 of trying to film this tutorial of how to make an audiogram using Descript. There's lots of different ways that you can make audiograms for your podcast, but if you're someone who wants to use Descript to edit, and lots of people do nowadays, and if you're doing it DIY, then it's a really great option. Anyway, if that's the tool you want to use, I'm going to show you how to make audiograms, and it's really simple. First, so here's one I made earlier. Let's just pretend that this is your podcast episode that you have just edited. It's all perfect. You love it. You go to Underlord, scroll down to this bit, the repurpose bit, which is so clever. You can pull out highlights. You can create a kind of highlight reel, particularly great if you've got a really long episode. And the create clips is how you're going to create your audiogram or videogram, like social teaser, whatever. So click on create clips, and here is where you can tweak the settings, the variables, and it's going to work differently for different people's audiences. You know your audience best, but this is actually a really short episode, so I think 6 clips is going to be stretching it. Let's say 2 clips, 15 seconds each, and you can add in the topic. I don't think we need to do that here because this is a very focused solo episode on one particular topic, so it's really unnecessary I think it's unnecessary. Here you can see your layout. Now, there's 2 things you can do here. You can either have no layout and build it all up from scratch, which is a perfectly good option, and you can then save that layout. So as you can see here, there's a few that I've made, and then you can just click on the thing you've saved, the one that you've made earlier, like this one, for example. And the other way that you can do it is by picking one of Descript's many options for audiograms and for social clips that will use video. Now, it's given us 2 clip options. You can either discard all and start again, or just say done. And what it will do is you'll find them here in clips from episode 3. So if we click into this one, it's already got the layout set up, and we can listen to it. Obviously, this hasn't actually been edited, so that's why it's the incorrect. Filter out the hype. Let's get rid of this bit. And all I'm doing there is just highlighting the text and deleting it. Okay, so obviously there's some corrections here because she's not saying the noise right, she's saying the noise. I'm off to build a dreamy KPI. So there we go. All you do is highlight the text and change it. Right, I'm off to build a dreamy KPI dashboard. Bye for now. That's a fine clip. It's not very exciting. I think probably it should be 30 seconds, and that's why these are not the best clips that they've pulled out. But it's good to have a few different types and experiment with them. The other thing that you can do, instead of asking Underlord to pick your clip, is to go to your actual episode and say, while you're editing it, you find a section that you really love. Say it's this bit. Highlight that and just pick a colour, any colour. You can pick any of these colours, actually. Let's go for purple because I don't like that colour. And you can pick a few different sections if you want as you're going through and edit. Like maybe you like this sentence. Diaries very all over. And this might be more of a highlight reel, as it were. So then you can go to Underlord. You can say, just type in copy highlights, purple. And we're going to copy all those highlights. Then click new composition and just Control V, and all of the highlights, anything that you've highlighted purple is going to be pasted in. So then we'll have this. And you could basically have a bit of a highlight reel. And what you could do in between, if you want to, add a scene here. So add scenes between all the bits that you've highlighted, basically. Or make each one a new scene. Let's add another scene. And then I'll show you what I mean. So then you've got a little gap in between each one. I mean, this is going to be really over the top, but for the purposes of this tutorial, you probably wouldn't want this amount of sound effects that I'm going to put in. You can put in little sound effects, kind of transition effects to go in between each one. So let's go for that one. It's a nice short one, and that's hopefully going to go in right here. And then we can create our audiogram from scratch if we want to, by either going to Square, because some people still want a 1x1 grid post, or you could use that for LinkedIn or whatever. Most people want to use it as a reel. Then what we're going to do is, this is such a faffy way of doing it, but this is the way to build it up yourself. You would either add in some artwork that you have created outside of Descript, like this, for example. So let's say you created that. You would add in new layer, and you can drag that out to cover the whole lot. Let's make that a bit shorter, otherwise you're going to have 5 seconds of dead time. Or, to make life easier for yourself, you could go to scene, and remember each one of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is its own separate scene, and choose a layout that Descript has created. Go down to the bottom to captioned clips, or audiograms actually, I think that's probably what we'd want. And then they'll have a few within here. Let's go for just this very basic one. As you can see, it's only done it for that number 1 scene. You could like literally copy and paste, copy layout and then paste it to the one below. The thing that I would really impress on you though is to save your own layout. So if you want to tweak any of this to your brand colours, once you've changed it all, save your scene as a new layout and just call it whatever you want to call it. So create new layout pack. We'll call this social clips, and we'll make it share with Drive. And then you'll be saving each scene if you want to, if each scene is different. So you could, for example, have an intro scene and you can label it as such. So that then if you have, say in this section, so you've got an intro that perhaps has a thumbnail and a piece of music, and then the captions kick in on and a transition kicks in on your second scene. You can save those scenes within that layout pack, within the audiogram layout pack. But you might want to just have one very simple scene that covers the whole audiogram, which is what we're going to have here. Although not, because I've put in transitions. So there you go. I hope that makes sense. And then you just do the exact same thing as you would if you were exporting an episode. All of these other things, Podbean, these are podcast hosts. So you can export them there. You could export it into YouTube Shorts if you wanted. That's a great thing to do. But yeah, most people are going to want to export it into their own, onto their computer, onto like wherever they save all their stuff. There we go.